am I the a-hole for telling my daughter that I'm no longer her father on the eve of her wedding? Dun, dun, dun.
That I'm no longer.
I'm no longer her father. Let's get into it.
No longer. Okay.
I, male 58, have a daughter, Jackie, female 24, who was married recently. Jackie's mother and I divorced when she was 2, and they settled in Texas while I'm in New York, so that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
I also have a son, Mike, male 28. Their mother married Joe, male 70-ish, when Jackie was about 15. I don't have a particularly high opinion of Joe, but no real complaints about him either. So
okay. That's quite neutral. Yeah.
That is general sort of stepfather thing.
Yeah.
Jackie always seemed lukewarm about him. So,
Okay.
But she was 15 when the mum remarried.
Well, yeah,
so,
naturally, it's quite a testing time for most 15. So
despite the distance, I visited every 6 weeks, would FaceTime my kids minimum once a week, paid all child support and supported and did anything else ever asked of me. It was very expensive to do this, but I never balked, never complained. I was there for every big event and also any small event they ever asked me to attend. So he did what he could, despite the distance.
Sounds like, you know, the efforts to be the doting dad.
Jackie was having a very big wedding, and I contributed a lot of money towards it, as in more than half the budget.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll never get over this thing of parents having to pay for their child's wedding.
Know.
At the rehearsal dinner, we were going over some of the discussions about the wedding, and I brought up walking her down the aisle and the father-daughter dance. Jackie got very silent and told me she'd already asked Joe to do it. What a slap in the face. What a slap in the face.
Well, then Joe should be picking up over
Joe
half
should
the
be
bill
paying
if
half
he's
the
going to
budget.
do the...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I said to her, but I'm your father. She tells me she really appreciates how kind, loving and generous I had always been towards her, but that she had to make a hard choice. I tell Jackie I feel unbelievably betrayed. I also feel very manipulated that she's springing this on me the day before the wedding, especially after she had me pay the lion's share of the cost. I asked Jackie if she knew that I wouldn't be getting the father of the bride role when she took the money, and she went dead silent.
No, not the a-hole.
I told her that if I'm not her father at the wedding, then she can't call upon me to be her father elsewhere in her life.
That's fair enough.
If I've spent 24 years doing the work, paying for college, paying for her wedding, flying all around the country and carrying all the freight of being a parent, but at the biggest day of her life, her words, if she's pointing to another man as her father, then that's a life choice.
Yeah.
Joe can take over paying for her law school tuition, and that I'm changing my will to leave everything to Mike. Whoa.
Right, okay, that's quite brutal.
That's an extreme one.
But that sounds like it's like an impulsive...
Yeah, that's just anger, isn't it?
Yeah, it will hurt.
I'm willing to maintain a relationship, but it won't be a father-daughter relationship anymore. She starts screaming at me how it's her wedding and it's her right to say who is a father to her and who isn't. So I ask her, so you're free to determine who is a father to you, I can't stop you. But if you can decide who is and isn't your father, then don't complain that I'm also free to decide who is and isn't my daughter. She then told me I'm a shit father for abandoning her on the eve of her wedding. I told her she was the one to announce a change in the relationship. She can't tell me I'm not a father to her and then have me continue considering her a daughter. Also, she chose to announce this all on the eve of the wedding. So that's my story. Am I the a-hole?
No.
I mean, there are aspects of everyone sucks here because of his reaction.
It's totally understandable, though, I think.
It is understandable that level of anger. Like, Jesus.
He's been a consistent role model. He's clearly paying for her law school. He's doing everything.
He's paid for everything.
He's really filling the father's shoes.
Yeah, he's just not present, as in physically present, because they live in a different state.
Yeah, which, you don't know what went on. It was breakdown of marriage, but he's obviously nice guy.
He's done his job.
And yet he's been, oh, thanks for all that, but
Pay for over half the wedding, but you can't walk me down the aisle or do the father-daughter dance because I want my stepdad.
She's
I've
being
only known since I was
selective.
15.
You'll be my dad as and when I choose fit. I don't blame him. I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
no, that's
You're my father when it monetarily suits me.
Yeah, it's very selfish, and
Wow.
she's not considered his feelings, and you know, I can't help but think Joe should have said, I can't walk you
Joe
down.
should have said.
I can't walk you down the aisle because your dad is the one to do that for you.
Or have them both walk you down the aisle.
Well, exactly. That's quite modern kind of.
Because I have
people-
seen it where the bride walks in with her father, her biological father, and then halfway down the stepdad joins and they all walk down together. And I think that's quite a nice tribute.
Yeah, and I
know.
think he would have understood that. He doesn't sound like an unreasonable chap at all. He would have been quite willing to say, yes, that's fine.
Possibly, we don't know.
She's pushed him out.
Completely. Not even the father-daughter dance. And she's only known Joe since she was 15. That's like 9 years because she's 24. That's a joke. That's a real joke. That is a real slap in the face for that man. And no, he's not the a-hole.
No, not the a-hole. Can we see some comments?
Yeah, he has done some edits to answer some common questions.
Okay.
So, edit number 1. No, I didn't find it odd that there wasn't any discussion of it before the rehearsal dinner. I've been in a few weddings. The instructions are usually pretty simple. Stand here, walk out at this song, and then go there. Obviously, I wish I had asked about it. He then said, she never gave me a straight answer as to why she didn't choose me, just that it was a hard decision, but her decision. Some people ask if her mother might have pressured her. I suspect that, as does my son, but ultimately I have no proof. So yeah, it could have been. The mother could have been, but you know, he's lived with you and supported you since you were a teenager.
Oh, he's not the one paying for law school either.
No.
Is he?
Something I get a lot is that the relationship was all about money. I mean, he did talk about money a lot, but yeah. And he's put summing up a 24-year history in relationship as well as the actual conflict in 3,000 words can't get everything.
No,
Fair
naturally,
enough.
yeah.
I obviously can't teleport, so I can't have been in Texas every other weekend. But we talked all the time and about all the things in her life. Giving her advice on getting into law school. He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Talking about her relationships because she always asked for his advice. Telling me about her friends, everything. It isn't like I just paid child support and effed off.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
I feel so bad for him.
I do too. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if the daughter has been coerced by the mother to choose Joe,
I
then
don't know why
that's
Joe
really
didn't
sad.
refuse.
But she should be able to stand, especially if she's going into law school, because that's quite a position to hold. She must have confidence. And she must be able to say with conviction, Mum, this is my decision. If she's willing to be like that with her dad, you know, she should also be like that with her mum and say, no, this is my decision. You know, obviously we don't know if that's what has happened, but it is
he should take her
suspected.
to small claims court to get that money back.
Oh, it's so sad.
Should we look at the comments?
Yeah.
Not the a-hole. Why couldn't she have both of you walk her down the aisle? I've heard of that before, then no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone's replied to that and said, or have one walk her down the aisle and the other do the dance.
Yeah, compromise.
Yeah.
But she's completely shut him out.
And someone's put, or she walks down the aisle and dad and stepdad dance together.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's funny.
He's not really that warm to Joe.
And someone's put, or her actual dad and the one paying for over half the wedding does both, and the dude she met when she was 15 stays in his lane.
Yes.
Yeah. And someone said, if I was the stepdad, I'd have pushed her towards her actual father.
Yes, well that's
Which is
what
what
I
we
said.
said,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Joe should have been, you know, stepping down and saying, well actually no, because
Wow.
dearie me.
Yeah, this is weird as hell, and I say that as a woman whose stepfather walked her down the aisle and whose bio dad wasn't even invited. It was not a surprise to anyone. This is bizarre, and the fact she didn't make it known earlier, i.e. before taking OP's money, and can't give us clear explanation is BS. Not the a-hole, and I'm sorry your daughter is such an inconsiderate non-communicator.
That's a way to sum it up.
Yeah. Wow.
Dearie me. Very
It doesn't
sad.
Yeah, OP doesn't seem to have directly replied to any of the comments.
Poor man.
But he did put the edits in. Oh no, he has replied to one. So someone's put, not the a-hole, you are simply following her lead because she told you how she expects the future of the relationship to go. Walk away and she'll probably eventually be reaching out, crying. And OP's replied to that saying, I couldn't put it in the main entry due to character limitations, but she called me sobbing the next day as I was getting ready to go to the airport. She told me she made a mistake and never thought it would hurt me so much. I told her that people make mistakes and mistakes can be forgiven if people are honest about them and look to make them right. She said she was. I said if she wants to make it right, I'm still willing to go to her wedding and put the whole thing behind me if she puts things right by having me as the father of the bride. She says she can't do that. Then I ask her how is it she's calling me, apologising and saying yesterday's decision was a mistake when she was being given the chance to redo it and choosing to do the exact same thing. I told her that she wasn't actually sorry or consider it a mistake, but rather she just didn't like the consequences.
Yeah.
I also told her to never call me dad again. I'll still talk to her and have a relationship with her, but I'm not her father anymore. And she should call me Rodrigo from now on. That's not his name, by the way.
No.
Wow. And someone said, not the a-hole, she's just upset she's not getting an inheritance from you anymore and isn't getting her tuition paid. Clearly she saw you as a checkbook. I mean, it does seem that way.
It certainly does. But how can you, like, ring and apologise and say, I've made a mistake, but I'm still going ahead with said mistake?
Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
Gosh.
Wow.
No further updates on that one.
No, but definitely not the a-hole. Poor man. I think that's so brutal.
That is really brutal.
I could never imagine doing that to my dad.
No. And I was raised by my stepdad, but my biological dad died when I was like 12, so it was a non-issue, obviously. But I think I probably would have opted for both of them to walk me down the aisle.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah.
Provided you've got a good relationship with both.
Well,
which
absolutely.
it seems like it.
Yeah.
But wow.
Another one?
Another one? Yeah, let's do it.